Hey, what is up, PokeMoshPit? This is Butler93pokemad back here, bringing you guys another Pokemon Black and White Wi-Fi battle today. And I'd just like to start off by saying thank you to all the people who left some very nice positive comments on my last PokeMoshPit upload. With the result that I'm actually a director here now. So once again, just like to say thank you to you all. It was really nice to see all the nice comments, all the likes. I got very few negative comments, only like 2 that I saw. So that's very good for Moshpit. So I actually have a really good UU game here, guys. It's against Solosoloblackdude, you might know him. So after seeing his team, I figured he's going to lead off with this Darmanitan, and I figured it was going to be Scarfed because it's in the lead spot like I predicted. So I led off my Scarf Victini. I go for the U-turn, knowing that he's probably either going to go for the Earthquake or the U-turn, since I had my own Victini out. And my assumption was correct. He went for the U-turn, so I went down to my Zapdos to sponge that, and Zapdos obviously sponges that very well. Does like no damage at all, basically, after leftovers. So he goes down to Registeel here, and I'm a little worried about why he did this. I decided I'm just going to stay and go for Thunder Wave, hopefully get some Power Hexes going, because I know he can't do anything to me except maybe status me. But honestly, I was expecting him to up to Stealth Rocks here. But he goes for Toxic on me, and that's fine because I have a little secret up my sleeve that can help me deal with this kind of stuff. So now I decided I'm going to want to switch out, basically because I just don't want him to, maybe Seismic Toss stall me or something like that. So I go into Machamp here with the intention of setting up a substitute on the following turn, but he actually goes for the Toxic on me, predicting my switch very nicely, so that was a good play on his part. I knew he was probably going into his Deoxys defense form here, but I decided to go for the Dynamic Punch anyway, just to get the confusion hacks on him, because it's always handy to have, and sometimes it can come into play. But like I said, I am Toxic here, so I do not want to start setting up substitutes, as was my original plan, because basically I'm just going to die to Toxic. So I decided to stay in here for another turn, just to see how much the Stone Edge is going to do, trying to find out if he's physically or especially defensive more so. And it does a decent amount. I mean, I could stay in and try to get the Stone Edge critical hit maybe to take him out, but I decided the Toxic is starting to rack up, so it's probably safer off to switch out here. So I go into Bambi's dad here because I figure he's probably just going to want to set up rocks or spikes or something like that, and that is exactly what he does. He sets up the rocks. So I know he's going to be afraid of the Mega Horn here, which is why he's going to switch out. And this is the perfect opportunity for me to go for my Aromatherapy, which he was not expecting at all. When I did this, he was just like, "What?" And that's great because I had 2 of my Pokemon were badly poisoned, and I was able to get rid of that. So it worked out well. So Registeel's up in here. I decided I'm just going to go for a Jump Kick because it is super effective. I want to try to get some damage off on him. But he's catching me off guard with the Ice Punch here. Fortunately, it does not do much at all because Registeel is pretty much just a defensive Pokemon. So it wasn't even going to be a 2-hit KO, but I don't want to risk the high jump or the Jump Kick missing or whatever. So I decided to switch out, go out into my Empoleon to 4 times resist the Ice Punch, and it does like no damage because like I said, I resisted. So I'm pretty sure he's going to want to switch out here because unless he has like Earthquake or Earth Power or something, he's not going to be able to do much to me. So at this point, I feel very safe just to go for the Stealth Rocks, like I said, because he has nothing to really hit me with. And he brings out a Shaman. And here, I am max special defense, max HP, as you can see. And I knew he was going to probably expect my switch out to Zapdos, expecting me to predict his Earth Power. But so I'd say and go for the Ice Beam, predicting nicely there. But I mean, even if he did have the Earth Power, or if even he went for it there, I was going to live with it. I was going to take it very well because, like I said, I am max special defense. I get to freeze hacks, but it doesn't matter at all because he was going to switch out anyway since he saw the Ice Beam, and he was just going to die in the next turn. So he has a natural cure, so the freeze hacks didn't matter at all. So he switched out to Machamp. I was expecting the switch, so I went for the Roar. And this Empoleon can really annoy people. With the Stealth Rock Roar combination and his very big bulk. He can really get on people's nerves. So his Deoxys sets up hilarious spikes, and I was really annoyed by that. I should have just gone for a Roar here, but I figured I'll go for the Scald, hopefully get the burn. But it doesn't happen, unfortunately, and he's going to recover up this turn as I decide to go for the Roar. I don't want to play around with Scald burns because he could potentially start setting up more layers of spikes. So it brings it back out into a Shaman here, and I know he's going to go for the rest because he's probably expecting me to go for the Roar. So if I went for the Roar this turn, he would have been back at full HP with the natural cure and not asleep. So I predicted nicely, went for the Ice Beam there. It was a very safe move. So he's going to switch out here now. He's going to go out into his Deoxys defense form as I go for the Roar, anticipating the switch, I do believe. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. So my Empoleon is just roaring shit out, and it was only a matter of time before I roared him out into his Darmanitan or his Machamp. So right here I'm predicting the superpower to try to take out my Empoleon, and I go out into my Zapdos. And you might say, that was kind of an obvious play, but we're both pretty wary of each other early on. There's a lot of switching going on. and neither of us wanted to overpredict early on, so it worked out very well for me because, like I said, his Darmanitan is choice scarfed. He went for the superpower. I resist that very nicely. It does like no damage. So I'm around half HP, but I decided it's a pretty good opportunity to get up a roost so I get back near full HP, and that's exactly what I do as he brings out his Registeel. And I mean, I know Registeel is very specially bulky, but I do have the Heat Wave, so you know I could potentially do some serious damage to his Registeel. But I don't want him going for a Toxic again because I don't particularly want to have to go for another aromatherapy. So I decided to switch out in the mic here, and he actually goes out into his Deoxys defense form, maybe predicting that switch, or maybe just wanting to get his Registeel out of there. I'm not sure which, but however, it worked out. He's on the better side of the deal, definitely. And around half HP, I know he's probably not going to have anything to do to me really, so he goes for Seismic Toss. So I figure it's pretty safe to set up a substitute, because you know, unless he had the Psychic, which is highly unlikely, I was going to get up a substitute safe there no matter what, and that is exactly what happened. So now he's going to go for a Seismic Toss here, and obviously it's going to break my sub because I have 353 HP, and I'm just going to go for a Payback, and this does a hell of a lot. This really does quite a lot to this Deoxys defense. It would have been a clean 2-hit KO, so you know, that was pretty nice. Maybe instead of going for the substitute that turn, I should have just gone for the Seismic or the Payback. But however, he's just going to finish me off now with Seismic Toss. I didn't want to switch out because he does have rocks and spikes up, so you know, there was no point really. So I just leave him in to die. So out comes V-Create, and I honestly thought he was going to predict me to go for the U-turn, and he was going to stay in with his Deoxys defense, and that's why I went for the V-Create, because you know, the U-turn was so painfully obvious. But he didn't. He just played it safe and went down to his Melodic. So you know, that's kind of that's fine by me, I guess. The V-Create does a reasonable amount of damage considering it is resisted and it is a Milotic or Milotic, whichever you call it. So I obviously cannot stay in here, so I got in a Vappy here because, like I said, I'm especially defensive. I thought he might go for the Toxic there, so you know, if he did, it wouldn't have affected me. And if he goes for the Skull, it's not going to do anything at all. And fortunately for me, he does not get the burn. You know, so neither of us have been able to get that Skull burn when you know we could have done with it. So I'm just going to go for the Roar here, I'm pretty sure, as he goes for the Skull. Fortunately, he does not get the burn yet again, and I'm just going to roar him out, and I get the worst end of the stick here as I do roar him out into his Machamp. So I really don't want to switch out into anything here because nothing on my team is going to appreciate a Dynamic Punch, and if I do, then I'll be confused, and you know, he can just kill me off with another Dynamic Punch or whatever. So I have to leave in my very poor here to die, kind of half hoping he'd live because you know, that max HP bulk, but you know, obviously not, because Machamp is an absolute monstrosity. And Machamp down to Yu is he's getting some nice play. I really like it, I must say. So I bring out Smurf here now because Smurf is my special sweeper, and just to scare him off with the Psychic as he goes out now into his Deoxys defense form. The Deoxys defense form is obviously going to be able to sponge that Psychic easily because he does resist it and it's a Deoxys defense. I am life orbed, and you know, judging by that damage, it's going to be really close after leftovers. So I took the lesser 2 evils, went for the Fire Blast. You know, there is a chance that the Fire Blast could have missed, and you know, it could have boned me. But fortunately he doesn't, and I am able to take him out. So he goes out in here now into Scarf Darmanitan, and obvious U-turn is obvious, so I'm going to switch out, going to go out with my big voltage again. And here he probably should have gone for the Flare Blitz. I mean, this switch was painfully obvious in my opinion, but I guess he didn't want to go for the Flare Blitz, because if he did, he probably would have died from recoil, and even if he didn't, then he would have died on his next switch in. So how it is now after the U-turn is that he's going to have at least one more switch in after rocks. So you know, it's gonna play an important role. So he went out into his Machamp here. I decided to go for Thunder Wave because I know it's going to be no guard, and I also did a damage calc before I did this, and I could have lived this Ice Punch, but he gets the critical hit, which is a little bit unfortunate. I mean, he is paralyzed, so my plan was to paralyze him, live that Ice Punch, and then basically just roost stall him till he gets the Power Hacks, and I'd be up with a decent amount of HP. So bring out Smurf here, and Smurf's going to scare him off the Psychic as he goes out now into his Milotic. He knows I have the Fire Blast, which is why he did not go out into his Registeel there, would be my guess. But here really he should have just switched out to his Registeel, predicting the Psychic, just to Life Orb stall me if nothing else in my opinion. But you know, then again, those rocks are up, so his Melodic would have been just death fodder anyway. But yeah, I take it down as Melodic with two Psychics, and out comes this Darmanitan, and this is basically the last time we're going to see this Darmanitan because rocks are up. So I have to go out into my Bambi now just to fodder him off basically, because all I have left is my Victini and my Azelf, and I am going to need both of those. So he's going to kill me off with a superpower. You know, if he went for the Flare Blitz, he would have died from recoil. He probably could have gone for the U-turn there and kept it as death fodder, but then you know, I'd get the switch advantage. So I meant to bring out my Victini now, and I'm going to be able to outspeed because I'm also Scarfed and because I have a higher base speed and I am Jolly Scarf. And I'm just going to be able to take him out with the Zen Headbutt. So you know, it's a pretty close game at this point. All I've got left is Victini and Azelf, and I cannot switch out Victini because I will die from rocks and spikes. And I basically thought I had the game lost at this point because, you know, he has 3 pokes left, rocks are up, you know, after switching from Azelf, you know, I didn't think, and I am Life Orbed, I thought I'd just die to Life Orb basically. But so that's why I'm duking it out here with Victini, trying to get a crit or a massive para flinching, whatever I can do basically. And I am Cho Scarf, so obviously I'm locked into Zen Head, but like I said, but it's going to happen that he's just going to kill me off with a critical hit in this Iron Head. He told me his set was later on Iron Head, Ice Punch, Curse and Toxic, which is why he doesn't have the Seismic Toss or whatever. So it's all down to Smurf here basically, and if I'd missed this, Fire Blast would have been game over. So after rocks I'm thinking, right, I could probably just take out 2 of his Pokemon and then die to Life Orb. So go with Fire Blast, thankfully it hits and it kills, and I see I have 30 HP and I'm like, holy shit, I'm gonna live. And I'm gonna outspeed this Shaman. It's obviously not Scarfed because you saw the Life Orb earlier, so I'm gonna be able to take him out with a Psychic. And it's just down to my Azelf and his Machamp now, and I'm like, yes, oh my god, please don't let his Machamp have Bullet Punch, please. And unfortunately he does not have the Bullet Punch. I'm going to be able to kill him off with the Stab, Life Orb, Psychic to the face. So it's actually a double down because I died to Life Orb. The game tells me I won, but that's a draw. I don't even care. And that was a hell of a good game, Solosoloblackdude. I really enjoyed it. Definitely one of the best Yu games I've ever played. And I hope you guys at MoshPit liked it too. If so, please leave a comment, please leave a like, and come check out my channel if you feel like it. And hopefully I'll see you guys up here again soon. Peace.